work to rule is an excellent way to organize in the workplace, to possibly prepare for a strike should it have to come to that. You're not violating anything.
Right.
You are following the rules.
Are you on? Which side are you on?
The NPR workers unionized a while back, and they are still in contract negotiations, and the union says, the workers say that management is stalling. They're not negotiating in good faith, and they're not, giving them a fair contract. And so instead of taking the step right now to go on strike, what they're doing is what's called a work to rule campaign. And so specifically in their instance, they've said on Twitter that they will be refusing to pick up work outside of their job description. They're going to be working their scheduled hours and not a minute more, and taking company Slack off of our phones and setting away messages when they're not at work.
Love it.
So that's, that's a really good, work to rule campaigns are really cool because everybody's job has rules or expectations that are beyond its scope. That the job, it's really difficult to accomplish the job without. If you've been working for a place long enough, you know that there are shortcuts that it is in the manual. It's supposed to be done a certain way, but nobody does it that way because it takes way too long. Or everybody knows that, maybe you're scheduled from 8 to 4, but in actuality, everybody works till 6. Or, you're answering, like taking Slack off of your phone. You're answering messages all hours of the day and all hours of the weekend, every day, all day and all night. You're on call, basically, doing work at all hours, and you're not being compensated for that, right? That's an expectation, but it's not in the job description. It's not in the scope of work, and it's but you do it to make sure that the work product gets done, to make sure that you're able to have that deliverable on time, to make sure that your company continues to perform and continues to excel, because most workers want to be able to deliver that deliverable. They want to be able to be successful and have that product. And so sometimes we are willing to go above and beyond and, and below in some cases, to make sure that the job gets done and the job gets done well. But when we're being taken advantage of, and when, especially during a contract campaign where, where we're not being respected at the bargaining table, then work to rule campaigns are a really good way to exactly follow the rules to the T as kind of a first step of escalation leading towards potentially a strike if it has to get to that level, because nobody wants to work, nobody wants to strike, right? Everybody wants to stay at work, continue collecting their paychecks and all this type of stuff, but sometimes strikes are necessary. And so
right, and when strikes are necessary, it's usually the culmination of multiple things that have escalated, a series of escalating actions that culminates in the strike as part of an organizing campaign. And so, yeah, I agree with you. Work to rule is an excellent way to organize in the workplace, to possibly prepare for a strike should it have to come to that. Mm-hmm. The thing about work to rule that's so great is you're not violating anything.
Right.
You are following the rules.
Right.
Here, one example that of course sticks with me is teachers. Teachers are often scheduled, at least around here in this area, their contract hours per se is 7:45 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. In reality, of course, they're all there before 7:45 a.m. They're all there past 3:15 p.m. They work far more than a 7.5-hour day. But what if? What if all the teachers at a school decided, you know what, we are going to show up at 7:45 and we are going to walk out of here at 3:15, and no, you're not getting any emails afterwards. No, we're not taking home work to grade. No, we're not going to upload the grades or upload your lesson plans late at night or on the weekends. We will just work when you are technically paying us to work.
Right.
Yeah. Would love to see how that goes. I know I've seen I remember a campaign years back in Hawaii with Hawaii educators who did that. Can't remember all the details, but that's one that sticks out in my memory. Would be Hawaii educators who did that. And what they did, it was at 3:15 or, the equivalent time, whenever they were technically released from their contract time, they went out on the road and had a picket in front of the school. And of course, by that, there's still parents picking up kids at that point.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity to organize and to build capacity for your union and in your workplace. And like I said, the brilliant beauty of it is you're actually just doing what you're technically supposed to do, just nothing more.
Right.
And it helps folks realize how much more they really give and how much more they've been expected to take on that they're not being compensated for. It's not being accounted for maybe in the policy manual. So shout out to the NPR workers for doing what you're doing. I wish you much success. And also, really, I hope folks will learn from this and maybe there's someone listening who now has the idea of work to rule as a possible campaign tactic. You'd be surprised how effective it could be.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.